Hello, my little SSSDLers. We are back for season 2. This is the coach reveal and draft lottery, and we're just going to get straight into it. Starting off, there's a couple of things I want to go over. We're going to start with the updated rules, the draft lottery and the fixed draft. I'm going to go over this a lot more in a couple slides, but just a quick overview is something new. It's just kind of both of these are ways to incentivize teams that performed poorly last season, and just, adding a little more fun, adding a little more balance. My whole goal with everything I do in SSSDL is to just have more fun, make this the best draft league that I possibly can. And this is just a way I think is more fun, and that goes with everything. But next rule is going to be banning weather rocks. Is weather broken in draft? I don't think so personally, but I do think it's not as fun as a lot of other things, and it's good. It's not broken, but it's good. And I don't blame anyone for drafting it, but I would just rather incentivize people to do more fun, more creative stuff, in my opinion. Weather balancers were tiered around this, so like things like Pelipper and Torkoal went down a good amount of points. You can still draft those mons, you can still use their weather abilities, they're just not allowed to hold the weather rocks. That goes for all Pokemon, not allowing anything to hold weather rocks. You can't run Prankster Sunny Day. You can still run Prankster Sunny Day though. Just no more weather rocks for this season. We'll see how it goes. It's just something I came up with that I think will be more fun and inspire more creativity in all of you guys. And lastly, the new tiering system. It's a little wonky, but I think it's kind of fun. Basically, the overview, if you haven't seen it in announcements, is that Pokemon that performed well in SSSDL last season, in Season 1, went up in points. Lapras won MVP. Ambipom was in the running. Great Tusk made first team. All things that won awards were on teams, or I just decided, based on the actual stats. It doesn't have to do anything with how good the Pokemon are, or how I believe they are. If they did good, I put them up in points. Do I think Great Tusk is pretty expensive right now? Yeah. Someone might still draft it. I think it's still, but I probably won't. But they go up in point value. And the same thing goes for things that do poorly. Greninja went down in points. Iron Leaves, the one who won LVP, went down in points. Things like that. And then also to incentivize new Pokemon playing and, just more creativity, right? Stuff that isn't getting drafted. Cool. 50% chance. I flipped a coin for every single Pokemon that was not drafted last season, which took quite a while. And if they landed on heads, they went down a single point. And hopefully I'm hoping to create this ecosystem, or this economy rather, of SSSDL points where, if the supply is there but the demand is too low, it's going to go down in points, Kind of an interesting system. We'll see how it goes over time. Hopefully it creates a cool economy where things are where people want to buy them all the time. It won't, because there's more mons than there are draft spots, but we'll see if this needs adjustment in future seasons. But for now, I think it's just kind of a fun idea. Next, we're going to look at the terrestrialization system just real quick. We've got some new coaches to this system. Just want to explain it, especially because last season I know we had multiple coaches who either didn't have a Terra or had a very low point Terra. And if you don't want a Terra, that's totally fine. If you only want a low tier Terra, that's totally fine. But I don't want you doing that because you don't understand the system. So please do not hesitate to reach out even if you don't understand this explanation. I don't want anyone left behind in regard to this. There's totally advantages to not Terraing as well. But regardless, I'm going to use Aerodactyl as my example here. Aerodactyl is in our 7-point column, so it costs 7 points to draft. If you want to have it as a Terra Captain, mind you can have max 3 Terra Captains, minimum 0. It's going to cost you that number next to Aerodactyl, that one number that you see in the column on the top right. You'll see that on the draft board. If a Pokemon has the number next to it, even if it's a 0, it's allowed to Terra. If it has a dash, it is not allowed to Terra. So if you choose to cap it, it's going to add that point to its total. So you can see here on the red circle, Aerodactyl goes to an 8 point. So it's effectively now an 8-point mon. So it takes 8 points away from your 115 total cap. It also takes 8 points from your Terra cap. The Terra cap, the limit rather, it's not a Terra Captain. The Terra limit, budget rather, I guess, is there just to prevent people from having, a ton of them or too many good ones, right? The goal is if you're getting something like an Aerodactyl, that's kind of a medium tier Terra, and you can get another medium with it. If you're getting a high tier Terra, something like Stakataka, something that really benefits from Terra and makes it a lot better. If you want to pair it with another Terra, it's going to be something of a lesser quality in my tiering opinion. That's the goal. So any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. With that being said, we're almost into the fun stuff. Just want to explain the draft lottery and the fixed draft a little more. We're going to start with the fixed draft. I don't know which one's good to start with. the fixed draft, how it's going to work for the first 3 rounds of this year's draft, we may adjust this in the future. The round order is going to go 1 to 14. Round 2 is going to go 1 to 14. Round 3 is going to go 1 to 14. So whoever rolls the first pick in this draft lottery will have the first pick. We'll have pick 1, pick 15, and pick 29, if I'm counting right. So you have an inherent advantage to being first. Normally draft order doesn't matter that much at the end of the day. But from round 4 going onward, it's going to go more like you are familiar with if you've played draft before, where it goes 1 to 14, 14 to 1, 1 to 14, 14 to 1, and so on and so forth, right? So starting on round 4. So round 3 is going to go 1 to 14, and round 4 is going to start with the 14th team going back, and we're going to continue. We may need to adjust this in future systems or seasons, but I think this system is kind of interesting, and at the end of the day, where you're drafting does not matter. I'm confident that a team drafting in the 14th position for 11 rounds could field a team that can win a championship very easily. There's a ton of good Pokemon available. The only thing that you are limited in is your options, right? I want the people who are having poor seasons, we're going to get to there with the draft lottery, people who are having poor seasons, not performing as well, underperforming, all that stuff. There's a lot of reasons why you might not do well, and some of that's because you're not getting mons you like. I want those people to have those opportunities to get those mons. That's all. Have opportunities to have fun, get the stuff you like, even if you're not the best. Or if you are the best, you get the stuff that helps you be the best. Now we're going to move on to the draft lottery. It's set up, just another system I want for fun, to advantage those coaches who underperformed in previous seasons, right? If you didn't do so good last season, you're going to have a better chance at a higher pick, which normally wouldn't matter, but because of the fixed draft for the first 3 rounds, you will have an straightly objective advantage. For the later rounds, it doesn't matter, but for the first 3 rounds, you have the advantage of opportunity and options for drafting. That's it. We may need to adjust all of this in future seasons, like I said, but for now, that's the goal. With that being said, we get to do coach reveals first. I want to show you the tables with all the odds, but I can't show you that because it's got all the coaches on it. So I do have to announce our 14 coaches for this season. I'm going to show our returning coaches first. I think these are kind of in random order and kind of weird, so I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to see. First, we got John, the Edmonton. Oh, okay, we don't have the names coming with them. That's okay. John and the Edmonton Emolgas. Me and the Pearl City Pinkertons, obviously. John, me. Next, we got Sam, Go City Go Goats. Wisdom, the Atlanta Braveries, and Ryan with the Regi Spice. Oh, we got McGriddle So with the Bronx Bombers. Abastia with the Hearthhome Haunters. Chalk with the Gaylord Gastrodons. Phoenix with the Toronto Typhlosions. Power Fable with the Celtic Jewels. And Wacka with the Chilling Receptions. Those are our 11 returning coaches. I wanted people who were there for the first season to really come back. So thank you guys for all applying again this season, and I'm happy to have you back. And I'm happy to see what else you guys cook up this season and how things change. I want to see our low guys go to higher spots this season. I want to see our high guys go to low spots this season, which might be me. Now, for our new coaches, we've got, there was 11 returning, so we got 3 new coaches. Starting off, we got the Aussie Arcanines, the Indonesian Infernapes, and the Blue Fishes, headlined by Chickadee, Dunkasino, and Ystream. Happy to have you guys. Please play your games. That's all I really care about. Moving on, here's the draft lottery. As you can see, I am at the bottom because I won the championship last season. I ordered this by playoff success rather than regular season success. Well, for the teams that didn't make the playoffs, it's regular seasons, obviously. But for the teams that made the playoff success. So that's why I'm bottom. Wacka is second because he's the only returning coach who made the conference finals. And then you can see I still have odds of getting top 4 picks. I have a 97.6% chance of getting the 14th pick, a 0.5% chance at the first pick. My total chances, everyone has a chance of getting in the top 4, but the worse you did last season, the better chances you have. At the same time, the top 3 teams all have the same exact odds of getting the first 4 picks. Wisdom just has a limit where he could only fall to 5, Phoenix could fall to 6, John could fall to 7. As for our new coaches, I kind of just tried to smush them in the middle. That's what I decided felt fairest. I put them ahead of our lowest ranked playoff team, which was Sam, who has the 9th best odds, and above our best ranked non-playoff team from last season. That's kind of confusing to say, which was Power Fable, who is 5th. So Dunkasino 6th, Ystream 7th, and Chickadee 8th. So in a normal, if everything goes according to most likely, you will see a line going from 14 all the way to 1 diagonally, where everyone gets their most likely pick in the order you see them on the left. Of course, that's kind of unlikely to happen in its own sense. But with that being said, we can get right into the draft lottery. You will know your draft position very soon. Now, for the number 14th pick, 97% of the time, it is me. But this time, it is me. Jaden is coming with the number 14 pick. No surprises. Looking at my last season, 6-2, I was the champion, of course. My MVP was Meloetta, and previously our number 14th pick was by James. He picked Palafin. Just kind of a fun info stuff from last season. Doesn't really mean anything. Number 13, projected Waka here. It will be Waka. He's going to get the number 13 pick. Fantastic coach. Looking at his last season, he's our only returning semifinalers. His MVP, Zapdos, on his Rain Hail team. And the last 13 pick was chalked with Garchomp. Number 12, you know it. It is McGriddleso with the Bronx Bombers. Looking here, last season 5-3, made the playoffs, had a crazy hot streak to end the season. I think rattled off 4 straight at the end to come out and make the 4 seed. It was pretty nuts. Had the MVP candidate, GM Pow. Previously, our 12th pick was Lando. I don't need to comment on that. The 11th pick is Ryan. Try to hype you guys up. We got the Regi Spice on the screen. Last season, he also made the first round. Also had an MVP candidate in Ambipom. Yeah, what else to say? Number 10, we are into the top 10. Number 10 slot will go to Chalk and the Gaylord Gastrodons. No jumps yet. This is all expected order so far. Reviewing his last season, had a great regular season, finished as the 2 seed. Unfortunately, fell out in the first round. But his MVP was Lunatone, which is goated. Last year, Mega Gallade was the number 10 pick, but it was dropped in Grace. So I had to technically count it. But, this would be... Mega Gallade has not played a game in SSSDL yet. The number 9 slot. We're still looking at playoff teams. It is going to be Samkey and the Go City Go-Goats. New logo, by the way. We got a couple rebrands along the league. But Samkey is going to get the number 9 pick. Review of his last season, 4-4. Made his playoffs for the first time. Had the MVP Lapras on the team. And last number 9 pick was by someone who made the championship. So that could be a good omen. Number 8. We are now on to our new coaches, sandwiched in between the playoffs and the returning non-playoffs. Our number 8 pick will be Ystream and the Aussie Arcanines. Now that's interesting, but that's up for you to figure out. Ystream, obviously nothing to review. He's a new coach, but cool guy. Our first truly international member of SSSDL. Happy to have him here. Number 7 is going to be Dunkasino and the Blue Fishes. New coach. Not else much to say. Last season, Annihilate was picked here. Now, number 6, we have Power Fable and the Joltik Jules. Last season, his MVP was Chiyu. Missed the playoffs just barely. Had a chance there right up until the end. And the previous number 6 was by the champion. The champion, unnamed, very handsome guy, picked Mega Scizor. So maybe you should do the same, Power Fable. I don't know, just a suggestion. Number 5, we are in the top 5. I guess the top 4 is where it gets truly elite. But we are in the top 5, and it is going to be Coach Wisdom and the Atlanta Braviaries falling all the way to 5. Brutal stuff. But last season, 2-6, missed the playoffs, is our worst returning coach in terms of record. His MVP was Stakataka. Yeah. On to number 4. This is where we're truly in those, 4 lottery picks. We have someone who's jumped. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Well, there's been a couple jumps now after that last one. But our number 4 pick is going to Phoenix and the Toronto Typhlosions. Uh-oh, there's 2 of them. Phoenix, 3-5, missed playoffs last season, headlined by Dawn Fan. Now we are into the top 3, which I will remind you. I'll remind you all the coaches just real quick. We've got John, we've got Chickadee, who hasn't landed, and we've got a Bashta. So those are our final 3. Who do you think it'll be? Drop a prediction real quick. I'll give you a second. Think about it. Get excited if you're one of those 3. Well, not yet. You don't want to see yourself yet, right? You know, regardless, you made it top 3, so that's kind of goated. Number 3, I'll stop yapping, is going to a Bashta and the Hearthhome Haunters. This is actually the only person who landed at their own pick from last season. He was number 3 last season. He picked Kieran Black. I banned Kieran Black, so he can't do it again. But 3-5, missed playoffs, but he did have a cool season, I think, and had a fun team. His MVP was Comfey last season. Now, we are down to just Chickadee and John for the final 2 picks. Who will it be, Chick or John? Showing up here, it's going to be Chickadee in the Indonesian Infernapes. This will be our highest ranked new coach, jumped up all the way from 7 or 8, I remember. And yeah, that means, of course, the number 1 pick is going to be our man, the man of the people, the Poke Tour himself. It's John. The Edmonton Omolgas land the first ever number 1 pick via draft lottery in SSSDL history. There will be hundreds of these. But John, you get it first. So congrats. You get any option you want, and you have the best priority for the first 3 rounds. I can show you his season. 3-5 last season, headlined by Annihilate. Chien Pao was the previous number 1 pick. Will Chien Pao reappear as the number 1 pick? Who knows? Draft order is going to be final. John, Chickadee, Abashta, Phoenix, Wisdom, Power Fable, Dunkasino, Y-Stream, Samkey, Chalk, Ryan, McGriddleso, Wacka, and me coming in dead last. This could be the standings at the end of the season. It might be flipped again. But, you know, we'll see. This is how it's going to go. 1-14 for the first 3 rounds, and then we continue Snake. Just quick reminder, want everyone to be on the same page. But yeah, with all that being said, the live draft will be this Saturday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully everyone can make it. If you're having any issues with it, I'm always happy to leave, or for you to leave picks with. I won't snipe you. I have my own ego, so I draft my own mons. But yeah, I can draft stuff for you. It's going to be a pretty short timer. I just want to reiterate, I'm hoping for like a 10-minute timer, you know, rapid fire. If you get skipped, you can always make up your pick real quick. But if we can get going through the first couple rounds, if we could get through the whole thing, that'd be fantastic. But I'm not expecting that. I'm just hoping my little SSSDLers will pull through. I know 8 p.m. Eastern is a little late, so, you know, if we're getting too late and you need to go to bed, go to bed. But the more we get done in one day, the sooner we can start the season and the sooner we can get games going, which I hope everyone is just as excited for as I am. That all being said, I don't have anything else really. So I'm excited for the draft. I hope you got a fun draft spot. I hope you see some cool value on the board. I hope we see some really creative sets this season, and I hope I win.